What's up, y'all? It's Nate Almighty, aka the Global Dark Skin Ambassador, with another Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4 theory. And what I have here is Tariq's top 10 keys to surviving his very first war. Now, I already have an earlier video where I discussed Tariq's top 10 allies. But what we have now, we're going to find out the top 10 things and strategies that Tariq needs to have and follow in order to win and survive his very first war. So without further ado, let's start with number one. And number one, and what I feel like is his most important key to victory, is securing Obi's intel and loyalty. That's going to go a long way. And the fact that that's going to go a long way is as simple as this. As long as he has the loyalty of Obi and he has the intel from Obi, he'll be able to know where stash spots are, where pickups and drop-offs are going to be in regards to money and drugs. He will also, or he should, be able to access Noma's daughter's information, where she may be living at, where she's going to be going to school in the new season. All of these very, very, very important inside information that Tariq is going to need, that he could use in his advantage, would be given to him by Obi. The only thing with this is that this is very, very risky because Noma is an international drug lord and she's a savage. So she may be setting up traps to find out who's loyal to her and who may be an inside-outside man. So she may end up tricking Obi by revealing a certain piece of information to Obi, and if Obi relays that information to Tariq and then a plan is made, Noma will then know that Obi was the person who was the mole. And that will get Obi killed, but I already predicted that. She'll figure out what Obi did by episode 5. But moving on to the next one, we got Anya Covington, which is another key for Tariq to win the war. Now, I already said more than once that I think Tariq may try to get with Anya Covington, who is Noma's daughter, but I feel like there'll be a plot twist and Anya Covington and Effie may get together. But him knowing who she is, where she at, and this intel also would have to come from Obi, but I separated it because even if Obi did not give him the intel, but through Pinky or someone else, Tate or somebody, whoever, right? They figure out where she is. Tariq can then begin to devise plans around that, you know? Maybe he figures out that Anya is gonna meet with her mom somewhere and Effie or the rest of it would likely be Effie, because I feel like Effie would be somebody who she would be trapping in and out a bunch of schools and she could run into Anya Covington that way. But he will have different situations where Effie or somebody in the organization who he needs to deal with, or Noma herself, will be around Anya Covington, and then he will be able to catch her right there, pop her in the head, or he might have to kidnap her in order to get some money out of Noma or force Noma to bend to his will. Number 2 is knowing where Noma's daughter is. Now, number 3, disrupting Course Perfect and other monetary pipelines of his enemies. Now, this is something that always happens when we're dealing with wars and drug and street-related television shows. This is also something that happens in real life when we're talking about war and beef and dealing with drugs and money and all things of that sort, right? So, if Tariq and Braden can find a way to disrupt Course Perfect, maybe they could hack it and get it shut down or reroute the business, just mess it up in some sort of way, you know? Even if, because I don't put it past Tariq, because Tariq's already snitched twice, even if Tariq got to give some kind of information that will lead to Course Perfect being found out about and shut down, all of these things can help him in the war. And once that's shut down, he's messing up the money. So now that puts everybody in a frantic mode because they're trying to make money for Noma. And at the same time, they trying to make money for themselves. They trying to war with Tariq and his team in the street. You know, you gotta have money to go to war. So if they not making enough money, then they can't successfully win a war. Now, moving on to the next one. Tariq must take advice from both Tasha and Tommy in order to have a reference point on how he could possibly win this war, his first war and his deadly war. Here's the thing, right? Up until now, for some crazy reason, Tariq thinks that Tasha was the brains of the organization. However, Tasha has never been in a war before. Yeah, she shot at Monet. Yeah, she clapped Lakeisha. She ain't never been knee deep, balls deep in a drug lord's war. Never. So what Tariq needs to do is he needs to sit down with Tasha, and Tasha needs to explain to him the things that Ghost and Tommy did in order to win the wars and deal with his enemies, like Jason Michich, Milan, Escobar. No. That's y'all know what I'm talking about. The other Spanish guy, the guy who like guys, right? And she needs to tell him, like, hey, I wasn't the brains of the operation. Your father been through a lot. And when he was facing a similar situation, he did this. He might have did this. Or I told him to do this, he didn't listen, so it went this way. And then on the other hand with that, I feel like he needs to get on the phone with Tommy, or he needs to meet up with Tommy, and he needs to ask Tommy to help him again, and then he needs for Tommy to say, no, this is your war, I got nothing to do with this. But I will explain to you, no, first tell me what's going on, tell me who's your adversaries, tell me what's going on with them, and then I will tell you how me and your father dealt with similar situations, because Tasha is going to have outside information on how Tommy and Ghost dealt with situations, and Tommy is going to have inside information that's more privy to exactly what's going on, and that would be very, very, very valuable to Tariq. Also, sidebar, I would like to see Tommy and Braden finally have a scene together, which we have not had. I need to see Tariq pull up with Braden and Tommy to go, so you got your own Tommy too? You're really just like your father, even though you act like you hate him, right? That's what we need to see. Now, moving on to the next one, right? Tariq needs to get the Tejadas to turn against each other. That's exactly what he needs to do. Tariq already knows that the Tejadas don't trust each other. So I think that this would be one of the first ways that he deals with the war. One of the first ways that he deals with it is he could set some up, or he could spread information to potential ops of the Tejadas, you know, something like that, or he could tell lie. He could end up talking to Kane or something and tell him lies, make him mess up whatever plans he has. He could do the same thing with Diana, you know, all type of different things, right? If he could get them to implode from within, it'll be easier for him to destroy them from the outside. And the next point, fully trusting absolutely nobody besides Tasha and Braden. We've seen Braden get in a shootout to save Tariq's life. The previous season, we've seen Braden use his white privilege to keep himself out of jail and save Tariq's life for the first time. And we all know Tasha is Tariq's mother. She would do anything for him, including die for him, which I feel like is a possibility of happening in season 4. He needs to know for sure, finally, that you cannot fully trust no woman especially. But the only two people who you can bet your life on, because they've proved that they will do whatever it takes to save and protect you, the only two people he could say that about are Braden and Tasha. And even with that, you know, maybe it may be safe to withhold some information from the both of them, depending on the situation. But moving on to the next point, as we get to the last 3, right? He needs to find a way to still sell product and make money in order to keep funding the war. War takes money. We live in America. America is a place where you make a lot of money from going to war. The spoils of war make you even more funds, okay? He needs to have his own pipeline. Maybe Dahlia from Power 4 Force comes into play or whatever, but he needs to find a way to still be competitive with his competition. That's exactly what he needs to do. And moving on to 8, he needs to have better and cheaper product than his competition. Everyone knows if you have better and cheaper product than your competition, and it's easier to come across, then you'll make more money than them. You will be the favorite supplier. And that connects to what I said earlier with him disrupting Course Perfect and getting the Tejadas to turn against each other and just causing chaos within the organization. All the regular buyers from them, they're going to be looking for somewhere else to get what they need, and then they will find Tariq's organization. Now, number 9, do not make any emotional decisions at all. Now, Tariq has been someone who, with all of his bodies that he caught, I feel like he's only made one emotional body where he didn't think it through, and that's with Sebastian. But could that be a sign of times to come? Will he get that emotional in the future and do the same thing again? Because first of all, Tariq killed Sebastian in what? A 5-star hotel, which has to have had cameras in it. We do not know the aftermath of that situation. There could be camera footage from that hotel. And if there is, Tariq is going to have another issue to deal with. He's going to have another body to fight. He's going to have witnesses that he may have to get rid of. He's going to need to find that tape. But that's an emotional body he caught that could cost him. Just like when Ghost saw Tasha and Terry Silver making love in the parking lot, and then in his emotions, he choked out Terry Silver, killed him, and they ended up finding his body in his car. That was an emotional body that he forgot to get rid of. So Tariq needs to remain who he was for majority of his kills, and that's think ahead. Don't do anything out of emotion. Don't do anything out of emotion. Number 9. Here we get to number 10. And I feel like after he accomplishes everything else and he has the opportunity to deal with his enemy, number 10 would be show no mercy. Why? Because he already shown that Effie ain't gonna show him no mercy. Diana and Drew ain't gonna show him no mercy. Kane definitely ain't gonna show him no mercy. And Noma for sure wasn't gonna show him no mercy. So when he catches them dead to rights, pow, one to the head. Now you know he did. But y'all let me know, are there any other important keys to securing the victory in Tariq's first war that I missed out? Am I reaching? Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.